everyone. It is time for another exciting behind the build session. And this is going to be a good one. This is a great customer who has actually done some pretty cool things at scale. And without further ado, Kevin.
Yeah, hello, thanks for being here. So my name is Kevin Geiger. I work for Endress Hauser. We build measurement devices for the process industry, and this is used in all kinds of industry. So basically everything you can measure, we help you with measurement devices. And for my person, I'm part of the IT team. So I'm responsible for the Salesforce Platform. So we manage the Sales Cloud, the Service Cloud, Community, and a lot of other products from Salesforce.
Very good to meet you, and let's get into it. You guys have been live for a while, but let's go back in time. When you first started this journey, why did you think Agentforce? What was the use case you were looking to do for this first agent?
We really had a lot of information on our Salesforce platform, right? So, but we always struggle to get the right information to the right people when they need it. So for us, it was like a big opportunity to implement those AI agents to get the right information to the right users at the right time.
So huge Service Cloud customer, and I may have saw that you had an increasingly alarming amount of knowledge articles in your org. How many knowledge articles did you guys have?
Well, we have about some thousand, 10,000, 20,000 knowledge articles in our org.
Okay.
And if you calculate the different translations to all different languages, so we are around about 50,000 knowledge articles.
Okay, so obviously, 50,000 articles, pretty hard for a human to keep up with all 50,000. Definitely a good use case. So you have the strong Service Cloud foundation, which I think is very key, right? So you just did a couple of clicks and the agent was live, right? Is that what happened?
That's how we dreamed it at the beginning. So you're right. It was like a dream. But at the beginning, we were quite surprised how quickly you could build an agent, right? So we got some very quick results after the first hackathon.
Excellent.
But
Excellent.
pretty soon we realized if you want to replicate that and if you want to be consistent, if you want to be, let's say, you want to trust the data source, there's much more work around it. So you need to work with the users over time to get their feedback and refine your use case over time. I think that's the key to success in my view.
When you did your rollout, now I'm assuming that you didn't just turn it on for everybody day one. You're like, okay, this thing's working. We're happy with it. We're going to take 100% of our calls. Everything's going to go to this. Tell me a little bit about your rollout.
So first we went to internal support engineers to test out our solutions. We want to make sure that the answers are correct. And for that one, we built up several focus groups around the globe, different regions, to test out our approaches and our the way how we implemented it. And for that, we targeted experienced engineer and newly hired engineer. So on one side, you have an experienced engineer who can tell if what your answers are, if this is correct. This is exactly what I would have answered with all my knowledge. But on the other side, you have your newly hired. Think about you just came out of university. You don't know anything about our products and the applications. So you are in desperate need for knowledge. And those as well access this knowledge, and it helped them to speed up quite fast. And then they gave us feedback. Does it help them in their daily job?
All right. So Kevin, look, you did your internal, but I think you might have actually turned this on to customers for a little bit first before you rolled back. So tell us a little bit about that story. Why did you make that decision to do that?
We do have all this knowledge in our organization, and we want that our customers benefit from this information. So the idea was at the beginning, let's give this to our customers and give them the information so they can help themselves. What we quickly learned was that the types of questions that the customer asked us are often more basic questions and not the types that we had in our knowledge articles. So what we learned is that many knowledge articles are written to be consumed internally. So we do have to go back and phrase them so customer can make use of it. And this process is still ongoing. And this is one of the reasons why we are holding back on the external use case at the moment. What also we learned over time, customers are not accessing our knowledge base on a daily basis. So when we did the pilot with some of our customers. We did get some feedback from them, which we learned on, but it was way too slow because we don't have many support cases where customer calls in 20 times a week. So to get all the feedback in a timely manner was not practical.
Right.
That's why we had to rely on our internal technicians to get more feedback in a shorter time frame.
To get the volume, right? Because again,
Right.
somebody that goes to your site once a month versus someone who's
Daily feedback.
what did you learn about the people and processes internally?
Maybe the biggest change I noticed was some weeks ago when I talked with some of the users who have been part of the pilot group. So this person, she was newly hired,
Okay.
and she explained me how she talked to the customer and how she used the agent to look for knowledge. And what changed in her was she might be able to answer the question, but now with the agent, she had confidence that was the right answer. So she didn't have to back up with a supervisor to reassure that the answer is correct. I think this led to a much faster onboarding phase for her, so that she now is very confident to talk to a customer. And for me, I think the AI agent is not only about efficiency and speed and consistency, it's also about empowering our users to be confident to talk to the customer very quickly and to make that job in the best way possible.
Very, very interesting. You're not done, Kelvin. You have the playbook kind of defined, and you're going to continue to increase your metrics and KPIs and quality of your articles. What's next?
We see a big need in the pre-sales area as well, because the need for knowledge is there equally. That's then one step we want to do next. And then, of course, our initial goal to bring this knowledge to the customer is still available, right? And with the implementation of voice in Agentforce, we believe that this is a big push regarding Agentforce and providing the knowledge to our customers in natural ways.
Love it. What are you worried about on this sales journey, on this pre-sales journey?
I think on the sales journey, we can see a lot of use cases which will provide benefit already. But if you go into a direction of recommending products, I think this is quite complicated in our industry.
Got it.
Our products are configured products, and there are a lot of parameters which need to be considered in order to recommend the right products. So my biggest fear would be that we set the expectation too high, and then we might disappoint our audience, and then they lose interest in our initiatives.
I do think it's more difficult, and especially in a company and a product set like yours, that most likely you'll need a human later in the loop. But if you can get the agent to give your salesperson or sales representative a better quality conversation because the agent got them prepared, I mean, that's going to save time.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking back, what is one or two things for somebody that is just starting out today? How do I become successful like Kevin? How do I do that?
Yeah. I think the first and most important thing, let's get started. Let's do something. Don't wait until the product is perfect. But at the same time, focus yourself on the one or two use cases that are most important for your process. So don't get lost in too many POCs trying to figure out where to start next. So take the one or two use cases you really want to make a difference in your organization. Take that, move on from POC phase in the production environment, and get the feedback from those users who are actually using it. And I think everything else will follow because the users, they will explain you what they need in addition, and then you will build up the perfect AI use case over time.
Kevin, it's my favorite advice. Again, I think POCs are the death of AI. It's just where AI goes to fail. I love your advice on getting to production. You will learn more from production, getting that direct user feedback. What is the one thing you would tell someone not to do?
Yeah, I think in our case, we have been a little bit too optimistic when we targeted our customers directly. That's the one thing I would not do again. Let's go internally because then you have a much closer feedback loop compared to our customers. Even though we have close relationship with our key customers, I think let's go internal first because then you get more feedback in a shorter time frame. That would be number one mistake that we did in the initial setup phase.
So I think that's fantastic advice for folks. Kevin, I can't wait to see what you do with this sales, pre-sales agent, and continue to build out your journey. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.